There is a small country on the Atlantic coast of the Iberian Peninsula that has become one of the most visited in Europe. It's Portugal, a country known for its numerous fairs, festivals, and the preservation of centuries-old traditions and culture. In rural areas of this country, you can still see women carrying their purchases in baskets on their heads. This country still offers the best coffee in Europe, and it is still served exclusively in cups. Traditional industries like fishing, textile production, and winemaking continue to thrive here. Wondering what you should see in Portugal? Especially for you, we will dedicate today's video to the most popular places in this country, including the most interesting of Portugal's attractions. It is in Portugal that you can feel further away from home than ever before, at the edge of the world, as the country is located on the westernmost cape of Europe, beyond which lies uncharted lands. Braga and Guimarães are ancient Portuguese towns that amaze tourists with their well-preserved architecture from the 11th to the 19th centuries. Braga, located in the north of Portugal, is the center of Catholicism in the country. The residence of the Portuguese Archbishop has been located here since the 16th century. It is surrounded by numerous ancient temples, churches, and cathedrals. In terms of geographical layout, Braga is divided into two parts, the New Quarters and the Old Town, which both locals and tourists can access through the Arco de Porta Nova, elegant gates built in the second half of the 18th century by the renowned sculptor and architect André Soares. One of the most interesting attractions in Braga is the Cathedral of Braga, located in the central part of the Old Town in the Garden of Santa Barbara. The cathedral was built in the 11th century, and its cultural significance makes it the main attraction not only of Braga but of the entire country. Over the time of its existence, the Braga Cathedral has been reconstructed many times, which is why various architectural styles can be seen in its appearance. It combines Romanesque, Gothic, Baroque, and Manueline, the Portuguese variant of Renaissance architecture. The interior of this attraction in Braga is also of interest to tourists. The Gothic Chapel of the Glory, which houses the tomb of one of the archbishops of Portugal, is especially beautiful. It is considered a masterpiece of Portuguese 14th century sculpture. Not far from the main cathedral, you can find the two-story Archiepiscopal Palace. Its wings were built at different times and are strikingly different from each other. The eastern wing is built in the Gothic style, while the western and southern wings are done in the Baroque style. Currently, the City Library has an extensive book collection and archive, and the Minho University Rectory are located here. Braga is also home to other no less impressive religious buildings such as the Church of Mercy, built in the Manueline style, Holy Cross Church, built in the Rococo style, as well as the picturesque Chapel of Our Lady of Conception, and São João do Soto. The sanctuary of Bom Jesus de Monte, located near Braga, is particularly noteworthy. It is a vast architectural and park complex located on Mount Espinho. The church is located at the top, and a zigzagging staircase called Via Sacra, meaning the sacred way, leads to its gates. The climb symbolizes Christ's ascent to the place of crucifixion. Another attraction in Braga is its museums. The most interesting ones include the Pius VII Museum, with its prehistoric tools and ceramics, the Enrique Medina Museum, featuring paintings and drawings by the artist, and the Nogueira de Silva Museum, with a collection of antique household items, sculptures, icons, and 17th century furniture, along with exquisite ivory items and paintings by famous Portuguese artists of the past. Castle of Braga is another major point of interest. Once upon a time, the Castle of Braga surrounded the city like a ring, serving as a defensive fortress and bastion. It underwent countless modifications and reconstructions during its centuries-long history. The medieval keep, dating back to the early 14th century, is still well preserved. The building stands at a height of 30 meters and has a unique crown of sharp crenellations at the top. It is adorned with paired windows and has embrasures, narrow openings in the walls through which the warriors of Braga could fire at their enemies. Guimarães is one of the oldest cities in the country. Often referred to as the cradle of Portugal, it was here that Alfonso I proclaimed the country's independence from Leon in the 12th century and became its first king. Many buildings in this medieval town, constructed between the time of its founding and the 19th century, have survived to this day. Thus, UNESCO has recognized the historic center of Guimarães as a World Heritage Site. The entire historical center of Guimarães is an interesting attraction. However, certain buildings stand out among the ancient architecture. For example, the Palace of the Dukes of Braganza, built in the 15th century, which looks rather ominous and grandiose at sunset. Also, the Gothic Church of Nossa Senhora da Oliveira, which was part of the monastery. And the Church of St. Francis, adorned with traditional Portuguese azulejo tiles. The blue and white tiles depict the life of St. Anthony of Padua, one of the most famous Franciscans. Another interesting attraction in the vicinity of the city of Guimarães, Cittadella de Briteiros. It is the ruins of an ancient settlement with over 100 stone houses that are over 2,000 years old. Historians claim that this place was once under Roman rule, and the fragments of an advanced water supply system, sewage, water reservoirs, and even fountains have been preserved to this day. The main attraction of Guimarães is its castle, built at the end of the 10th century. It is a classic medieval fortress, with keeps and battlements all around the roof, a moat, and a drawbridge. Initially, the castle served as a defensive purpose, but over time it became obsolete and was used as a prison, and later for agricultural purposes. The building gradually deteriorated, and stones from its walls were pulled to be used for the construction of other buildings. Today, this attraction has been fully restored and is open to visitors as a museum. Coimbra is one of the most beautiful cities in Europe. Its symbol is the country's oldest university, founded in the 13th century. One could confidently say it is Portugal's own Oxford, with equally interesting traditions and celebrations. A Portuguese saying goes, Porto works, Braga prays, Coimbra studies, and Lisbon gets the money. Formerly the capital of Portugal, Coimbra is now primarily known for one of the oldest universities in Europe, which occupies a significant part of the city. Coimbra can be roughly divided into two parts. The upper town is the oldest district with historical landmarks surrounded by medieval walls. The lower town is a larger area with modern architecture. The University of Coimbra is the oldest and largest educational institution in Portugal, founded in Lisbon in the distant year of 1290. For several centuries, it moved from one city to another and finally settled in Coimbra in 1537. Over the centuries, the university expanded and eventually came to occupy a significant part of Coimbra. Today, all faculties and institutes are located in different areas of Coimbra and occupy spaces in historic buildings, some of which are architectural landmarks of global significance. It's worth mentioning that the university itself has been under UNESCO protection since 2013. As in many other private educational institutions, students of the University of Coimbra are required to wear uniforms, black capes with colorful ribbons. By the way, the ribbons don't only serve a decorative purpose, their color represents the faculty to which the student belongs, and a number of ribbons signify the year of study. Like most old educational institutions, the University of Coimbra has a library on its premises. It is one of the oldest and largest in Europe. Its construction began in 1717 by the order of King John V. The building was created in the Baroque style, which was popular at the time, and has 3 large halls. The walls of all library rooms are covered with antique wooden shelves on which books and manuscripts are placed. There are about 35,000 of them, all printed before the early 19th century. Access to the library is by appointment only. The time spent inside is limited and photography is not allowed. Evora is an open-air museum. This expression alone can tell you a lot about the attractions of this place. It is one of the best and most beautiful cities in Portugal, preserving numerous historical monuments. For several millennia, Evora has miraculously managed to maintain its charming appearance, which has shaped under the influence of many cultures. New neighborhoods are built in such a way as not to disturb the historical heritage of the Romans, Moors, and Lusitanians. Many of Evora's attractions are concentrated in the city center. The list of the most significant ones include the Sé Catedral, the palaces of Vasco da Gama, and King Manuel, the Temple of Diana, churches, and chapels. All historical monuments are wonderfully preserved. Nazaré. Ocean, sand, beach, cocktails, sun loungers, and waves that reach 30 meters in height. Yes, you can find it all in one place, but fortunately, at different times. How is that possible? Head to the town of Nazaré on the western coast of Portugal to find out. Here on the Atlantic Ocean shore, you can experience both a relaxing beach vacation and see the world's largest waves. This Portuguese attraction is located between the capital, Lisbon, and the city of Porto. In the summer, the small resort town of Nazaré, with a population of about 15,000 people, becomes a classic tourist destination. Vacationers from all over the world flock to its long, sandy beaches. They bask in the gentle sun and swim in the Atlantic Ocean. In general, they come here for a typical, carefree vacation. In winter, however, everything changes dramatically. Beachgoers are replaced by thrill seekers and lovers of unusual natural phenomena. During this period, you can watch the giant waves that crash onto the coast, almost within arm's reach. This incredibly powerful and stunningly beautiful phenomenon attracts both tourists and the most daring surfers. Surfers first came to Nazaré in the 1960s. However, no one dared to try and conquer a wave as high as a 9-story building. It was only done in 2011 by a young man from the Hawaiian Islands, Garrett McNamara. He rode a wave that was 24 meters high. In 2013, he did it again with a 30-meter wave. But we do not recommend trying to repeat this extremely dangerous experiment. We do, however, recommend coming to Nazaré to enjoy this unusual spectacle. Algarve. The secret to an unforgettable summer vacation filled with the warmest memories lies in one word: Algarve. Portugal has many treasures that could surprise even the most sophisticated travelers, and this region is undoubtedly one of them. The Algarve coastline has dozens of incredible beaches, fantastic natural locations, and spots waiting to be explored. It's about people, food, culture, history, and the atmosphere of eternal summer. And it's about the comfortable resorts and welcoming towns that carefully preserve their uniqueness. The southern coast of Portugal captivates with its rocky cliffs and azure waves, authentic white houses and orange trees, secluded lagoons, cosmic caves, and excellent spots for surfing. The number of must-visit places in the region is hard to count. Here are some locations in the Algarve region that will steal your heart forever. Albufeira is a must-visit for those who love luxurious beaches and pristine nature. So be sure to take note of several locations that make this region so special. Among them are São Rafael Beach, Coelha Beach, Falésia Beach, Inatel Beach, Santa Eulalia Beach, as well as the Pau da Bandeira viewpoint and the ancient castle of Paderne. Benagel Cave is a location that captivates with its pristine beauty. It consists of picturesque rocky formations and caves along the coastline, characterized by whimsical shapes and shades. It's hard to believe that such beauty was created by nature itself. The highlight of the cave is a round hole in the rock, formed as a result of the collapse of its vault. Sunlight streaming through it creates amazing glows and visual effects, as well as serves as natural illumination for the cave's interior. Marinha Beach. Its landscapes can be found on many photographs and postcards. It is famous for its karst caves, yellow Martian rocks, and crystal-clear blue waters. Camilo Beach is small but incredibly picturesque, located near Lagos. Unfortunately, it is always crowded. Nevertheless, this place is impossible to miss. Camilo is surrounded by limestone formations that protect it from windy weather. Birds inhabit their tops. There's a wooden staircase leading down to the beach, which also serves as one of the main photo locations for tourists. Looking at the beach from the cliff, you will discover some truly stunning views. The azure seawater looks especially contrasting against the golden sand and rocks. Camilo Beach has been awarded the Blue Flag and is one of the region's iconic landmarks. Cape Roca. People come to Cape Roca for its nature, the boundless ocean and magical landscapes. The colorful coastline and 140-meter-high cliffs are truly impressive. They say that if you look at the horizon from this point for a long time, you can see a semicircle. This is where sailors realize that the planet is round. In addition to the endless sky and ocean and incredible landscapes, Cape Roca also has a lighthouse, a cross monument, a restaurant, and a tourist information center where you can get a certificate confirming that you've been to the edge of the earth. Porto. This is a city with a centuries-old history, infused with contemporary art, active nightlife, simple yet delicious Portuguese food, and intoxicating port wine. It's a place with countless abandoned factories, bustling shopping centers teeming with life, and buildings with their unique stories. It's a city of people of all ages, each of whom is a member of some association. It is also a city of 16-meter communal apartments. Restaurants and cafes here change owners and names at lightning speed, while interesting bars and art spaces are hidden from tourists on the upper floors of industrial buildings. Certainly, Porto's must-see spot for tourists is the district along the Douro River called Ribeira. It offers streets with colorful houses, covered in azulejo tiles, inner courtyards, restaurants, and bars along the waterfront teeming with people. It would be a shame not to have wine or port wine while enjoying the view of the river. One of Porto's main attractions is the São Bento railway station. The building is more impressive than any museum. The station's walls are adorned with images from Portugal's history, created with the famous blue and white azulejo tiles. Beyond the main building of the University of Porto is the tallest tower in Portugal, the Torre dos Clérigos. The tower offers a breathtaking view of the city. You will have to pay an entrance fee and then climb 225 steps to the top. Palácio da Bolsa is a former stock exchange now used by the local Chamber of Commerce. The most interesting part is the Arab Room. Arabian themes were popular in construction in the late 19th century. Thus, the walls of this room are dedicated with arabesques and inscriptions in Arabic, including Long Live Maria II, Queen of Portugal, and Long Live Allah. This is far from a complete list of what you should see in this amazing city. It should take at least a week to fully enjoy the enchanting atmosphere of this ancient port city. Lisbon is a city that inspires creativity. Quiet, sun-drenched landscapes with faded red roofs, white and blue facades, spires of ancient cathedrals, whitewashed sidewalks beneath your feet, and ships passing under the red bridge over the Tagus River. It is a river city that smells of salt, fine fish, spices, coffee, and fresh pastries. A city on 7 hills where you can easily lose yourself and find your own path. In Lisbon, as in any other journey, it's important to experience your own personal adventure, discover new establishments, new cuisine, emotions, and feelings. No matter how many guides have been written, Lisbon is a city that continues to amaze even those who have lived there their whole lives. When it comes to sightseeing, the first place to visit is definitely the Jerónimos Monastery. The monastery is protected by UNESCO as a World Heritage Site and is part of the 7 Wonders of Portugal list. Belém Tower is the most recognizable landmark in Lisbon. It was built during the Age of Discoveries. It's also been classified as a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 1983 and is part of the 7 Wonders of Portugal list. São Jorge Castle is located in the heart of Lisbon on a high hill and can be seen from virtually anywhere in the city. The castle operates as a museum and there's an admission fee. This location offers a beautiful view of central Lisbon, the Tagus River, and its southern bank. The Lisbon Cathedral is another impressive Lisbon attraction. It's located right in the city center on a small hill near the Alfama district. Thus, the cathedral's towers are visible from many points in the city. The Lisbon Oceanarium is considered the best in Europe and one of the best in the world. Every year, approximately 1 million people visit the Lisbon Oceanarium. The total area of the premises is about 20,000 square meters, and there are more than 30 aquariums, including a gigantic one with 5 million liters of water that can be viewed from different levels. There are a total of 8,000 living organisms in the oceanarium. The National Coach Museum in Lisbon is the most visited museum in Portugal. You don't have to love museums to enjoy this Lisbon attraction. We guarantee you'll be impressed. Friends, that's all for today. Please hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Also, let us know which of these places you would like to visit the most, or add your favorite places to the list. This will be of great help to other travelers.